Good morning, everyone. Good morning. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? It is Tuesday, May 7th, 2019. Let's get it going in the markets. Yesterday we had a bloodbath in the markets. Bears do. Market was selling off across the board. SPY actually, I think it found support in the high 288s, trading down almost 5 points from Friday's close. The all pretty much all sectors were bleeding red yesterday. I think healthcare was only a sector that closed green, and a lot of stocks obviously coming down with the market. Stocks that possibly shouldn't have been selling off sold off. Yeah, obviously, as everybody knows, Trump is doing what Trump does. There's obviously some China trade war talks going on, and a lot of stocks are going to get hit. A lot of companies going to get hit hard if and when that happens. So, a lot of panic sellers as the market usually, reacts to news like this. But once dust settles, people realize what they're doing and possibly, prices will return to where it's supposed to be trading. That being said, there's still plenty of opportunities to take advantage of these emotional traders, and always stocks will trade much lower when emotions are involved, like they are right now. So, take advantage of these guys, take advantage of the emotions, and also when the dust settles, there'll be plenty of buying opportunities, nice swing opportunities to the upside. So, know where to look. Take advantage of emotions, and you will be paid. Let's get going. So up on our watch list, we got 8 going into the session. Up first, we got Skechers, SKX. Skechers sold off yesterday as well. Closed down almost 5%. A couple things, obviously retail, but they had some lawsuit about some. I'm not exactly sure what the lawsuit was, but obviously, news like that, people are gonna get scared and jump ship. On top of that, there's some ridiculous. I think they're selling shoes like in fucking Petco or something crazy like that to pet owners or whatever the case may be. It's kind of it's a reach. Let's just put it that mildly. It's a reach. So, with the lawsuit, with them doing collaboration with Petco, adding shoes in pet stores, fuck, I don't know. Sounds a bit ridiculous, but anyway, these are when you do them companies do reaches like this, makes you wonder, right? So, going on top of the investigation, that should bring the price lower. Not much lower, but at least, I'd say at least a point and a half to the downside, and that's plenty to jump on board. This thing shows any weakness after the bell, relating in and taking this thing down. Next up, Restoration Hardware. Obviously, you saw that gap down at the end of March. Kind of traded up April, tried to fill that gap, didn't quite do it, got stuffed out, came right back down, closed low at the end of April. And again, this is more selling pressure from this possible trade war with China. Restoration Hardware will take a hit, and on top of that, it's definitely elevated price for a furniture store trading in the hundreds like this. Anyway, this is one that definitely like a couple more points to the downside, just besides the trade war. And take that into consideration. On top of that, this possibly will trade lower after it reaches its support level. See it blowing through this thing and maybe reaching this 200-day sometime on the weekly, sometime this month, maybe next month. Next up, PII Flores. Flores, obviously, as you can see, traded down yesterday, closed a little bit weak in the day technically, so we're going to keep a close eye on this thing. It's sitting on the 200 on the daily, blew right through the 250 on the weekly. Definitely like this, a few more points to downside, showing some weakness trading down. So going to keep an eye on this thing and wait for the market makers to do what they do after it begins to trade below VWAP. We'd like this thing to fade out. IRobot, this company right here, is selling vacuum cleaners. Let's get going with this. They sell vacuum cleaners, period, right? Little robots on the floor, pretty much is a vacuum. So obviously, as you can see, traded down last week or 2 weeks ago, and had a little bit of quote unquote run, trying to get some of those get some of the price back. But as you can see, clearly investors are still dumping shares. Clearly boys are dumping, and it's just taking a little bit longer. And they're doing it methodically, right? And on top of that, there's more trade war talks, all these things. The trade war is definitely going to hurt a lot of companies, but if a company already sucks as it is, like this one has no business trading in the hundreds, it definitely is going to be in the 90s relatively soon. So we definitely like this for a few points to downside. Continue with selling pressure. IPGP sold off yesterday as well. Closed almost 10 points to the downside, sitting on its 50-day on the daily. Definitely showing some weakness. Traded weak, closed weak. We like all of these things. Relatively nice ATR. So if this thing moves, it should move nicely. Couldn't trade above VWAP all day long. Try to trade a few times above VWAP. Got stuffed up, maybe 5-6 times. So that's showing some action right there. Obviously, as you can see, after hours last night, had a little bit of action, but we can keep a close eye on this thing, see what happens. AMG, as you can see, sold off, closed down almost 13 points. Started had significant sell pressure from the bell. Not much of a gap down, but just faded all day long. So once found its support in the 96 level, then started trading sideways. But still plenty of meat on the bone here to the downside, like a few more points to the downside. So we're going to keep a close eye on this thing. And if it shows weakness at all at any point after the dust settles, 9:45, 10 o'clock, definitely step in. ALNY, as you can see, it's been selling off like crazy. As most people would say, it can't go any lower. It's sold off already. It's already came down since then, almost the 95 level. Sure, yeah, possible. But until the trend changes, till buyers step in and push this thing higher, this thing's going lower, period, right? It's going to blow through any support level because it's already blown through major moving averages, and there's still plenty of room to the downside if you want to talk straight technical support levels. So until this trend changes, we like it to the downside. Last up, ACIA. ACIA, as you can see, had its gap down yesterday in the market, closed very low, all on the low of the day, blowing through its 50 on the daily. Like it, a few more points to downside for a conservative target area. So we like this thing showing any type of weakness, we will step in and mitigate our risk. So guys, we got 8 going into the watch into today's session, and we'll see what we do. Obviously, as we always do, sit back, cherry pick the best of the best, and only trade, only put on a position when price comes to us. No need to have the optimal entries. There's plenty of meat on the bone in any stock that we trade. So if you miss a few cents, big deal. Hop in, mitigate your risk properly, and take the meat of the move. If you're looking at stocks just to get a couple cents, then this is not what we do. You might as well look elsewhere. We look for big moves, guys. Big moves in the markets. So that being said, you want to know how we're doing it, how we're trading these stocks, how we're picking these stocks, how we're building our watch list, how we're trading these charts, come check out the site at thestreettrading.com, and we will sort you out on the 90-day course. Alright guys, have a good day in the markets. We will catch you later.